Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Survive to Thrive. It's Hawk on Friday night, 5/11. Greg Evensen. Greg, what is your website, and do you still have some of the castle defense programs available for sale for somebody who wanted to get it rushed out to them immediately?
Well, we do, Hawk. It is my website, and I'll give it twice here quickly. It is The Heartland, T-H-E, TheHeartlandUSA.com. USA stands for United for a Sovereign America. TheHeartlandUSA.com. Look, we knew we couldn't go everywhere. We tried to get these put together so people could sit and talk and discuss and debate and try this stuff out. There's a 12-hour training course and a downloadable 400-page manual to accompany that. It's at the website. It's less than half price from what it used to be. We've done it simply, we made our costs, and now we're offering it out here so that you can have it. That's all we'll say. I know you've got lots to do, but if you need that kind of thing to help the training or help convince some of your family members or friends where you get together, that's the way to do it. It's at the HeartlandUSA.com at the store. It's over on the upper left-hand side. Just go there and check it out. Thanks, Hawk.
What's the price on that?
I think the whole thing is about $70. It used to be $170 because of the cost and the material and the prep time. But we just, as we've cleared those costs, we've reduced it so that people can get it at a good price.
And folks, that's good. I'm going to tell you, this is step-by-step planning and how to do the different things, how to defend your castle, how to do all the steps necessary to prepare for what is coming, and you'd better get it if you need a guideline. If you need any kind of, ideas of what to do. And I'm going to tell you what, we're late in the game. I think a lot of people, particularly in the rural areas, should already be making their deadfalls and digging their tiger pits, Greg.
Well, that's for sure. Look, Hawk, what we try and do, again, I do not advocate offensive measures against anyone. First of all, it's foolish. Secondly, it's not timely. If I'm attacked, then I will defend myself. But we're talking about all the ancillary things that go with that. That is one element of how to prepare for that. But more for pirates and people roaming the countryside if there is a cataclysm, and they're going to be looking for stuff because they didn't prepare, and they've just got some weapons. They're coming after you. What do you do? How do you communicate? How do you defend? How do you set up a defensive perimeter? How do you stalk a game and take care of it? It's all in there. 12 hours worth and the manual. So thanks, Hawk, for mentioning that.
Absolutely. Yeah, people get that if you can get it, and get it right now. And is there a phone number that they? Well, you're on that number right now, so let's not give that out. So
but I do have a cell phone. We're glad to give that out for people if some have questions. Yep, that's 906-367-0505. Now, look, I get tons of calls, so don't be discouraged if you don't get me right away. But I will get back to you. It may take me a couple of days, but because I'm getting lots of calls. But that's the number you can use, and you can get me at the email and that's Greg, G-R-E-G, Greg at TheHeartlandUSA.com. Look, we're helping people, Hawk. I know we are, but we want to help a lot more.
Yeah, and we want to help them quick because
yes, sir.
This thing is upon us. People, this is like we're just right at the time where the concentration camps are built. They're advertising and hiring guards. Do you think it would be any great stretch that they might hire some more perverted types like the TSA's got in their midst? And who would ever thought that, Greg, that we would allow big ham-fisted dykes and perverted men to touch our little baby children, put their hand down their pants, to paw our wives and to put our hands up our, backsides and stuff? Who would ever thought in America that would ever happen? And we're allowing that to happen. It's happening right now every single day. And if you don't do that, then you have to be irradiated with a radiation that is so strong on the backscatter radar, regardless of what these idiots say in the Department for Human Sacrifice, that it is destroying DNA. Oh, man.
Hawk, look, you said it, and you said it absolutely correctly. We have allowed this. There is, look, you can blame the government for setting up the departments and staffing them. You can blame the government for funding this kind of crap and foisting it on the American people. But you have to blame the American people. We must blame ourselves for allowing this to go. The first time they started feeling people up at these airports, there should have been a massive running through that TSA. I don't care what they did, but people who had heart and soul, people who had guts, people who said, I'm not going to be put through that, just ran through it, knocked these people on their butts, and went right off, and, you know, they'd have been taken down, but you know what? The statement would have been made. Instead, what do? We spread our legs. We lift our arms. We say, go ahead. I guess to make sure I'm safe and secure, I'm going to let you do this. No, we made that decision, Hawk, just like we've allowed for the roadblocks to be set up and even the cement barriers to be put in place. Nobody's questioned. Nobody said, well, why are you doing this? You're not doing any construction zone here, so why would you pile up 40 or 50 of these huge cement barriers at the Ohio-Indiana line on US 50 highway? Why would you do this?
And then have a truck there that says Border Patrol Unit or something, right?
All in softening up, Hawk. It's a mental, emotional downgrade of the American people. I just want to get from here to Denver. That's all I want. I want to get from Denver to Los Angeles. I just want to get back to Dallas, Texas. I don't care what they do to me. I want to get on the plane, fly home, and I've got my week's worth of work done. You know, leave me alone. I don't care. I don't care what you do as long as I got to go through it. You see, that's what's happening everywhere. We're allowing our schools to teach children things that they should not be hearing. They should not be a part of. They should not participate in. We are letting our city councils and our school boards and our county commissions go ahead and adopt Agenda 21, tear down the country from within. The infrastructure being built by Chinese workers and Chinese contractors. We have allowed this nation to be destroyed from within. That's what happens every time, Hawk. And the very people that should be standing out there saying, this is not right, we need to take a stand, and we need to do it now, what used to be called the black-robed regiment, that is the pastors and the pulpits, are sitting there counting how many people came in, getting a flash from the back, well, we got $500, we can pay our bills today, so I'm not going to preach too heavily to anybody about anything, and I'm sure not going to go in and criticize the government or the homosexuals.
Either that or they're taking the government money, too, on the pastors, the clergy response team.
That's exactly correct. You've got boards, weak, spineless boards at churches that are set against one another. They will not demand the truth and the Scripture and the truth of God's Word to be preached within the church. It's about something else. It's something inane. It's something that doesn't have anything to do with saving the souls of men and women and children and preparing them for what's coming. It has nothing to do with that anymore, Hawk. It's all about expediency and the bucks and the fancy programs. That our churches have failed us. Not all, of course, but many have, especially the institutionalized National Council of Churches communist organization. They've all taken us down the primrose path to destruction, and we're on that four-lane interstate highway to destruction at 100 miles an hour.
Let me tell you something. I just got a report, Greg. Let's just say that some very observant, keen-eyed geese have sighted two military aircraft. One of them is the Air Force One plane, minus the president, and using the call sign Sierra 44, which that 40 committee, Greg, number right there, meaning for people today who understand the 40 committee is what is the NSC, and it was at 29,000 feet going over the Midwest, and guess what it was followed by? A Russian Airbus military transport also. And the use of the S-44 call signs means a deep, dark usage, very, very strange, not normal, and that means that this Air Force One, with the president not on it apparently, so it's not really AF-1, but it's that plane, is leading the Russian Airbus military transport, leading it through somewhere, going somewhere in Conus, and I'm going to tell you what, Greg, this is a strange bedfellows when we have Russian chief of staff threatening the United States that if we put anti-missile defense systems in Europe, or if we go against Iran or go against Syria, that they're going to launch everything in our pod. And here we've got our U.S., ostensibly the AF-1, leading through using a special call sign 44 under some NSC with a Russian Airbus following it through the corridor.
Well, let's just speculate, Hawk. Let's just think a moment about that Airbus. Could be loaded with 500 or more Spetsnaz. They proceed into the airport. They land. They set up their security zone. Air Force One comes in, and they're going to do then whatever they're going to do. How strange it would be that U.S. forces would not be participating. Why? Why? If the Secret Service had trouble dealing with some hooker down in Colombia, they're going to have a real problem dealing with 500 Russian Special Forces troops surrounding their president. I just say we speculate.
Alpha's in that body armor that our 223 will bounce off of, you know?
That's correct. And I'll say again, we speculate on that possibility. But then what is left to us?
I speculate they may be just going a little early to Fort Carson, perhaps, so they can maybe field their own little baseball team for the baseball game that Wendy, the base PR flack, talks how wonderful it will be that the Russians will get to see a baseball game.
Well, you see, Hawk, that's for all the troops that are standing there kind of with their eyebrows up, and they're standing and go, what is this? And they're catching their breath, and all of a sudden then they can afford a nervous little smile and a laugh because, oh, these are just the guys coming in for the ball game. They're just coming in here to watch us do our Memorial Day parade. See, we're being softened up because we're soft-headed, Hawk. We don't get it.
That's right. We're stupid as all get out. And everybody I've ever talked to who's a foreigner, military, or anybody in intelligence, Steve Quayle used to tell me, he says, oh, talk to these Rush guys. They said, oh, the stupid Americans. Whoa, you know, they have no clue. We're here to get them. We're here to kill them. And we're being paid by the U.S. government to do so, and they just do not understand. You know.
Well, Hawk, of course, you know, you're just one of those guys that need some serious counseling, and you don't get it. You see, things aren't really that bad. Things are actually really pretty normal, except it's been a little hard to keep my job, and I lost my benefits, and I've had to take a cut in pay, and I can't pay for my house, but everything's pretty normal.
Yeah, my kid, all my kids, they can't get a job, so they had to come back home. That's normal, you know.
Yeah, that's right.
85% of all the students are back home after graduating, 4 years of college or more, you know.
And why is it that they're talking about inoculating us without our consent? Why is it that they're talking about the possibility of the release of weaponized contagions? I've heard that from one of the men that is in charge of one of those labs, that it's all out there, but oh no, it's not happening. You know, we need to get those vaccinations so we make sure that we don't get sick. Well, if you take the vaccination, you just may well get sick.
We did talk about that on air, and then, you know, wasn't it interesting that I met somebody that was related to that person?
Oh, that's correct. Yes, now that you mentioned, that's correct. Well, and Hawk, it's on and on and on it goes. Look, even the people at the higher levels now are getting it. They've been indoctrinated. They've had a 20, 25, to 28-year career, and they've done everything by the book. They've carried out every order ever given, and they've never questioned anything. They might have thought about it, but they certainly didn't question it. Now they're beginning to question. Now they're beginning to say, what is the end of this? Where are we going with this? Why is NORTHCOM being readied training exercises in this nation to go house to house, to go community to community, to use air assets to take out not only businesses but infrastructure? Why are they being trained to do that unless the plan is at some point to do that?
Absolutely. Now, you talked about, you were on with Steve on the Hagman and Hagman show the other night. Doug Hagman has got the information, and he's been all over, and I'm glad it went viral, from his source at a high level inside of the tactical command of DHS, and he's saying that not only is the DHS preparing for civil war in the United States, but they are attempting to facilitate it, or to foment it, or to cause it, Greg.
Well, Hawk, now look, it takes a little while to manufacture 450 million rounds of ammo. You're going to have probably a